Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us this evening for the Knox County Board's monthly meeting, March 26, 2025. The time is 6:26 p.m. at the Galesburg City Hall Council Chambers. If the clerk would call the roll, please.
All right, Robertson.
Here.
Pugh.
Here.
Theory.
Here.
Kramer.
Here.
Sandoval. Nachi.
Here.
J. Frederick.
Here.
Davidson.
Here.
Hawkinson.
Here.
Boone.
Here.
Weiss.
Here.
Bondi.
Here.
Cohen.
Here.
Bollinger. And B. Frederick.
Here.
14 ayes, Mr. Chair.
All right, declare a quorum. Sheriff?
Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. The Knox County Board is now in session. Soon to adjourn, y'all. Y'all chair, Jared Hawkins, flag.
Thank you, sir. If we'd all rise, remove your caps for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence. We'd remain standing briefly for the moment of silence. Please keep those, our friends, our neighbors, our colleagues, Anybody that needs thoughts and prayers today? Thank you very much. Are there any additions to the agenda? All right, seeing none. Moving on to the public comment that was posted at the entrance. Everybody get a chance to put their name on the public comment board. All right. First on there is Miss Patty Boone. You know the drill.
Dear board members and audience members, as stewards of Knox County and representatives of its citizens, it is our collective responsibility to ensure that every decision we make upholds the principles of transparency, fairness, and accountability. In light of the board's proposal to hire John Robertson, I must express my concerns and recommend a more thorough and impartial selection process for this critical position. We have a commitment to due diligence. It is imperative that we adhere to our duty to serve the best interests of the citizens of Knox County. This includes conducting a rigorous vetting process to identify the most qualified candidate for the role. Opening this position for bids and initiating a formal interview process will allow us to evaluate a range of highly skilled attorneys, ensuring that we select the one who best aligns with the needs of our county and its residents. We must address conflicts of interest and concerns. The proposed attorney's current position with the City of Galesburg zoning and his long-standing tenure as legal counsel for the Oak Run Property Owners Association, and among others, possesses a clear conflict of interest. This association's relationship with zoning matters in Knox County raises legitimate concerns about the attorney's ability to provide unbiased and objective counsel. Maintaining the integrity of our decision-making process requires us to avoid any appearance of partiality or compromised judgment. Public confidence and transparency is a must. By pursuing an open and competitive selection process, we demonstrate to our constituents that their trust in us is well placed. Our actions must reflect the highest standards of governance, reinforcing public confidence in our commitment to serve them with integrity and fairness. In light of these considerations, I urge the board to reconsider the current proposal and take steps to advertise this position, solicit bids, and conduct interviews with qualified candidates. This approach will ensure that we fulfill our responsibility to Knox County citizens and select legal counsel who exemplifies excellence, impartiality, and dedication to public service. Thank you for your attention and thoughtful deliberation on this matter. Sincerely, Patty Boone, Knox County Board, District 5. Thank you.
All right, next up is Ms. Pam Davidson. You know the drill as well.
Good afternoon. I'm Pam Davidson, District 3. I am here to say April 1st is voting, and everybody should vote because it's only 11% of Knox County people that vote. From the city of Galesburg to out in the counties, we got townships, we have mayors, we have several different municipal races that are going on, and we take this for granted and don't vote. So I'm asking you to vote April 1st. Thank you.
Thank you, Pam. Next up is Mr. David Amor. You know the drill, 3 minutes.
Good evening, David Amor, 1054 North Prairie Street, Galesburg. I'm here tonight to express my concern once again about the motion to add the new county administration building at 50 East Main Street to the county's existing performance contract, master contract. Last month, in addition to my own remarks, you heard other public comment attesting that there are multiple local vendors willing and able to bid competitively for the renovation work to be done at the new building, and importantly, potentially on a percentage basis significantly lower, maybe half again as low, as the terms of the current contract. Given that competitive and open bidding is a recognized best practice for local governments, and that there's the prospect of being able to save the taxpayers a significant amount of money, and also in light of the repeated questions that have been raised going back several years about the fairness of the county's bidding process for mechanical, electrical, and HVAC services, I can see no reason why you would not want to put this new work out for bid, whether under the guaranteed energy savings conditions of the performance contract or more simply soliciting bids for a general contractor. The only reason I have heard stated is that going through the public bidding process now would mean a delay of some months in starting the work. While I understand the eagerness to get into the new building on the part of the elected officials, department heads, and employees who would move, I do not find this argument compelling. In fact, it has echoes of the arguments about so-called emergencies that we have heard over and over again in justification for getting around the requirements for open public bidding. MSI's had a good run for the past 3 years, but it's never a good idea to stick with the same vendors for too long. Competition is a good thing, as I'm sure you'll all agree. It gives our local and regional vendors an opportunity to show what they can do. It demonstrates to the public that their local government is not in the business of playing favorites, and it ensures that our taxpayers' dollars are being spent wisely and efficiently. I ask you all to kill this motion by voting no on item 30 to remove the previous bill from the table. This will clear the decks and allow you to craft a new set of bid specs and ensure that the renovation of the new building proceeds in the full light of day. Thank you very much.
Sir? Next up is Mr. Drew DeSutter. Nice try, Ken.
Try sneaking in there.
Press the button in 3 minutes, sir.
My name is Drew DeSutter. I'm the president of the Knox County Farm Bureau. Thank you for having us back again to consider the Allies and Ag resolution. As a farmer in northern Knox County, raising cattle, hay, corn, and soybeans, the Knox County Farm Bureau represents 871 farmers and agribusiness professionals in the county. Thank you for the opportunity to share my thoughts with you tonight as I ask for support of the agriculture resolution on your agenda. I ask for your support. Or passage of this resolution shares the significance of agriculture to our county, and it shows the support to our industry. Agriculture is one of the oldest industries in our country, and it provides food, fuel, and fiber to our community, nation, and world. In total, there are more than 71,000 farms in Illinois, and 853 of those farms reside within our great county. Multi-generational families take care of the land within this county. I'm a fourth-generation farmer. We care about what we do, how we do it, and how it impacts our neighbors and our environment. A few points about agriculture in Knox County. Agriculture supports 2,327 jobs, which is estimated 9% of the total jobs in Knox County. Agriculture and related industries generate total sales output estimated at $400 million. Farm property provides 23% of taxable value to this county. The revenue provides services to all residents in the county. And in closing, I believe this resolution signifies the county board's continued support of Knox County agriculture and farmers. It recognizes the contribution agriculture provides to our county. The resolution further signifies the county is open to and welcome of agriculture in our county. Thank you.
Thanks, Drew. Now it's up is Ken Springer. Press button, it's already on in
All right.
3 minutes, sir.
Thank you very much. Ken Springer with the Knox County Partnership for Economic Development. I wanted to bring to the attention of the board tonight some really cool workforce development activities for youth that are coming up here in the near future. Starting this Friday, March 28th from 9 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Is an event called Welcome to the Real World. This is hosted out at Carl Sandburg College and is put together by a number of partners, including Sandburg, the ROE, Western Illinois Works, and others. This is an event for 8th graders where they learn about careers, they learn about fiscal responsibility, voting, all kinds of different things that go into being an adult. It's a really great event. It's open to the public. Encourage you to check it out. It's again, that's going to be on Friday of this week from 9 a.m. to 1:30 in the Sandburg Gym. Coming up next is the Skills USA State Championships at the Peoria Civic Center. That's on April 24th and 26th. This is a competition for vocational students in which Sandburg and Galesburg area vocational students participate in. Vocational students will square off against competition from other schools in skills like welding, construction, masonry, fire science, culinary arts, etc. It's a really cool event. It's open to the public. It's hosted at the Civic Center in Peoria. A very high value event for employers in the room. We actually had students last year that got job offers on the floor for competing in showing their skills off. Really cool event. Again, that's going to be on April 24th through the 26th. And then lastly, coming up is the Galesburg Area Vocational Center's annual signing day for career and technical education students. So that's going to be on May 13th. This is a very important event. It recognizes the students that are choosing careers in vocational fields. There'll be between 70 and 75 students participating this year. Each student is going to be individually recognized, and they'll pose for a photo with the employers that they're going to be working with in the area, and also recognizes those students that are going to be going into the armed forces. This event is fairly new. It just was started a few years ago, but it's extremely exciting. It gives you a glimpse of what the future workforce is going to look like. And again, I encourage everybody to check it out. That's going to be held on May 13th at the auditorium at Galesburg High School. So lots of events coming up. If you're interested in youth and workforce development, all of these are open to the public and encourage you to check them out. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Ken. Next up on the public speaking is Connie Main. Come on down. The green light's already on. 3 minutes, please.
Board members, especially District 4 representatives, Hawkinson, Kramer, and Olinger. My name is Connie Main. I reside in Knox County, Altoona, Illinois. Again, I am bringing to your attention deeply concerning issues affecting us for nearly 10 years. We continue to be denied our civil rights and equal protection by law enforcement, particularly in matters related to the protection of ourselves and our properties against several forms of illegal activities and trespasses. Tonight, we seek your immediate intervention and assistance in addressing some of the specific pressing matters as follows. 1, illegal dogs. Numerous incidents involving illegally unrestrained, dangerous, non-inoculated, non-registered dogs chasing or trespassing on our properties without collars, all required by law, but not enforced for us. These animals pose a serious threat to us and others' safety and well-being, not to mention our elderly, disabled animals, which have never been around the country block, so to speak. Number 2, we recently, again this year already, reported another illegal dog, but were denied all action or information from all Knox County government departments, claiming we didn't provide enough information for investigation. We would have provided a picture of the dog at the owner's country home yesterday, but did not, due to children playing near the dog, because they would be allowed to claim we were stalking their children as retaliation for complaining, as others have done over the years thus far. These illegal, dangerous dogs and above-the-law people, half our ages, have proven to have more rights than us elderly farming landowners following the law. Illegal vehicles with loud mufflers, revving, no plates, completely blacked out windows, and off-road vehicles running highways with or without proper registration have become a prevalent issue. Also, whether they create a noise disturbance or not, and more so at night. 3, various trespasses without repercussions ever. This violates the sanctity of private property, ownership, period, and instills a sense of fear and vulnerability among us, knowing there is nothing we have been able or can do about it. Number 4, access to our properties. free of duress will never return due to various forms of intimidation, false accusations, and/or actual law enforcement involvement, which is most distressing. If just once those who break laws were held accountable and responsible, this would have stopped long ago. But that did not happen. Instead, we were punished. The repercussions of those decisions and the continuing repeated issues are far-reaching and profoundly affect our daily lives. Considering these pressing concerns, I urge all county board members to take immediate and decisive action to safeguard our rights and well-being. It is well beyond time for this to be considered an urgent matter. Farming season is just beginning, and we've already had many chases and attacks.
All right. Next on the list is Mr. Derek Appel. The green light's on, sir. 3 minutes.
All right, thank you. Hello, good evening. My name is Derek Capel, Village Board President, Village of Altoona, Illinois. Item 33, it looks like here tonight. And in our park, our Altoona Lions Club in the village, we like to construct a newer and bigger, better shelter for the public. And currently, the main park in town, Johnson Powell Park, there's 2 lots. North end is zone commercial, the south end is zone residential. Commercial setbacks are 50 feet, where residential are 30. I'm 56 years old, and it's always been a park, and those buildings that used to be there back in the 20s for businesses have been long gone. And so with zoning change, we'll have more room to put the shelter where we want to. And after that shelter gets up, we're thinking about putting in a pickleball court. And if it fits there, it would be nice to be put downtown. We're not sure exactly where we're going to put that yet. So I'm just here for any questions anybody may have. Later on, action item comes up, and I guess we're asking for your blessing to approve the zoning change. And since I got a little bit of time, I know that you guys are wanting to hire a new zoning judge, and I encourage you all to do so. There's a lot of places in the county where there's junk around and it's an eyesore. And since villages like us go by the county zoning laws, we don't have our own. By you hiring a judge for that, just puts an added arrow in our quiver, so to speak, to get things cleaned up. So whoever you hire, we encourage you guys to do so. So I thank you, and I yield back my time.
Thank you, sir. Right. Thank you, Mr. Bell. Next up is myself. I'll be right down in just a second. All you gotta do is press the custom button, Scott.
Custom button.
Perfect. And I'll start. All right.
Where Frederick now sits as this temporary chair.
Custom. All right. I speak to you today in this public comment section to address some public comment made last month where I was absent. It was stated that individuals were not in favor of adding 50 East Main Street to the existing master performance contract, and how years before that Mr. Amor was involved with other vendors for performance contracting. I want to add some context to the comments made. Mr. Amor claimed that this was previously shot down by Republican members of this board with no discussion and refusing to even have a feasibility study. That's September 2019 to be exact. While the part of the being struck down is accurate, I will provide that there were 12 members present at this meeting, with Member Davidson leading the charge to defeat the item because this item was specifically shot down because the specific vendor was not guaranteeing use of local labor. When this issue came to a vote, 7 of the 12 members present voted no. 4 of those 7 members were Democrats and 3 of those were Republicans. So no, the Republicans were not responsible for shooting this measure down. Mr. Amor also commented that it was clear then and more clear now that it was defeated in order to clear the way for a local vendor to step in, which is not accurate. Not quite sure what Mr. Amor is insinuating here, but I'm pretty sure I can read between the lines. Mr. Amor then advised me on September 25th, 2019, that he was disgusted by our colleagues at not making their objections known, and that it was just disrespectful of the building committee to the building committee who have worked on this project for over 2 years, and went on further to say that it was unconscionable to turn down such a project that won't get done otherwise and could make us so much more energy efficient and save us money at the same time. So that debunks the notion that the measure was defeated for a specific purpose that was insinuated. It was also claimed in comments that the emergency project of the jail was not part of the performance contract approval, which is not correct. The master agreement was vetted with the state's attorney and even approved, as well as an emergency declaration for phase 1, which was also vetted with the state's attorney. While an emergency declaration didn't and still doesn't sit well with many board members, myself included, sometimes it's unavoidable unless someone has a crystal ball and can predict the future. And in this case, we were on the hook by former administrations that were required to rectify the problem. It was also commented how millions of dollars have been spent and things are well worth doing, but Mr. Amor claimed that every dollar spent goes to MSI, which is entirely not true, and it's as the picture was painted. While the check is cut to MSI for services rendered as the county's publicly bid, publicly reviewed, and publicly approved general contractor, that money is paid to the vendors who publicly bid and were subsequently publicly approved for their services by the county board in a public meeting for items which I don't think I mentioned before, publicly approved projects. Thank you very much.
Member Hawkinson resumes the chair.
All right, moving on to consent agenda item 1 and 2. I'll take a motion to approve the minutes of the board meeting and closed board meeting on February 26, 2025, as well as the sales tax and various taxes for the month of December 2024 in the amounts of $161,085.74 and $44,406.66, and the public safety tax in the amount of $275,856.77. I'll take a motion, please.
Second.
Who had the second? Bob? All right. Any discussion on that? All right, call roll, please.
Robertson,
Yes.
Hugh,
Yes.
Theory,
Yes.
Kramer,
Yes.
Nachi,
Yes.
J. Frederick,
Yes.
Davidson,
Yes.
Hawkinson,
Yes.
Boone,
Yes.
Weiss,
Yes.
Bondi,
Yes.
Cohen,
Yes.
Olinger, and B. Frederick.
Yes.
14 ayes, Mr. Chair.
All right, motion passes. Item number 3, I'll take a motion to approve the proclamation of National Health Week in Knox, National Public Health Week in Knox County.
Second.
Bondi, second with your,
Gotcha.
right, your right one's good, right?
The right one I can barely hear, the left one's shot. So
Okay.
most of the motions will be from this side of the room tonight, I think.
Right. I'll read the proclamation in the record. The proclamation of National Public Health Week in Knox County, whereas the week of April 7th through 13th, 2025 is recognized and known as National Public Health Week and is also celebrating the 30th anniversary of celebration. And whereas public health fundamentally works to prevent, promote, and protect the health of the entire Knox County community. And whereas public health improves the quality of life, reduces human suffering, and is essential to every part of our lives. Every day, the public health field is working, often behind the scenes, to prevent hazards and keep people healthy. And whereas public health professionals have been and will continue to shape Knox County for the better, working together with scientific and technological advances, expanding access to immunizations, improving food safety, advocating for clean air and water, eliminating poisonous lead hazards, reducing the spread of infectious diseases, and working to eliminate health disparities. And whereas during National Public Health Week, we commit to the Knox County Health Department vision of healthy people and a healthy community. Together, we share the appreciation to all those who strive to promote the public health and strengthen our community. Now, therefore, I, Jared Hawkinson, Chair of the Knox County Board of Knox County, Illinois, do hereby proclaim that the week of April 7th through 13th, 2025 as Public Health Week 2025 in Knox County, Illinois. We call upon the residents, businesses, and governmental agencies in Knox County to observe this week by helping our families, friends, neighbors, coworkers, and leaders to better understand the value of public health and supporting the great accomplishments of public health, dated this 26th day of March 2025. Are there any comments or discussion on this proclamation? All right, call the roll, please.
Robertson,
Yes.
Pugh,
Yes.
Theory,
Yes.
Kramer,
Yes.
Nachi,
Yes.
J. Frederick,
Yes.
Davidson,
Yes.
Hawkinson,
Yes.
Boone,
Yes.
Weiss. Yes. Bondi,
Yes.
Cohen,
Yes.
Olinger. And B. Frederick.
Yes.
14 ayes, Mr. Chair.
All right, motion passes. Item number 4, I'll take a motion to approve the resolution for allies in agriculture for 2025.
Second.
You got that?
Yep.
I'll read the resolution into the record.
Can you give me a sticker?
Resolution in support of Knox County agriculture, whereas Illinois is home to more than 71,000 farms, of which 96% are family-owned and a third of which include livestock. And whereas Knox County accounts for 984 of those farms, totaling 440,387 acres. And whereas agriculture supports 2,572 jobs, which accounts for an estimated 11% of total jobs in the economy. And whereas agriculture and related industries generate total sales or outputs estimated at $469.3 million. And whereas farm property provides 24.1% of taxable value, which provides services to residents. And whereas Illinois farmers support the food security of our citizens, the international pandemic displayed the importance of an American food system, processing and supply chain weaknesses. And whereas farmers are dedicated to caring for their animals in ways that also benefit the land, using tools and technology to better manage soil nutrients, water runoff, and air quality on the farm, farmers are using fewer natural resources and reducing their carbon footprint while producing more food. And whereas farmland is a finite, I think that's how you pronounce that, a resource that is vital to agriculture, food production, and the economic well-being of our county and country. And whereas farmers in Illinois face multiple layers of regulation involving state and federal agencies, providing a comprehensive, robust regulatory program for all farms, including those raising livestock. And whereas data and information from state regulatory agencies demonstrates environmental issues from agriculture are an extreme rare occurrence. And whereas Knox County recognizes the value agriculture contributes to our county and the rural way of life is the backbone of our country, and efforts should be made to accommodate future success of the rural community. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Knox County Board acknowledges and supports agriculture within Knox County. The jobs created, taxes generated, technologies embraced, and environmental practices implemented by farmers make agriculture a valuable industry within our county. Also, the Knox County Board and county staff will work to support and promote the development of agriculture for the benefit of our county and all its residents. Resolved and passed this 26th day of December 2024. Are there any comments or discussion? Please call the roll.
Robertson.
She left.
Oh, she left. Ah, jeez. So was it me? Pugh,
Yes.
Theory,
Yes.
Kramer,
Yes.
Nachi,
Yes.
J. Frederick,
Yes.
Davidson,
Yes.
Hawkinson,
Yes.
Boone,
Yes.
Weiss. Yes. Bondi,
Yes.
Cohen,
Yes.
Olinger,
Yes.
and B. Frederick.
Yes.
13 ayes, Mr. Chair.
All right, motion passes. And as every year, the Knox County or the Farm Bureau of Knox County has provided a plaque that will be displayed in the courthouse with the other one are committed to supporting agriculture 2023 and 2024. So thank you very much to the Farm Bureau for your support and what you guys do for agriculture, just not in Knox County, but in all of Illinois. So thank you very much. Yeah, after, okay, after the boss says after. All right. Moving on to item number 5, I'll take a motion to approve the resolution for withdrawal from the agriculture conservation and protection area.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Item is in your packet. Get to it here. In January, we established the authority to create an agriculture committee that was required by the state statute to be comprised of one sitting board member, which Mr. Kramer, as well as 4 farmers. Those farmers must be active, and 2 of them have to be Republican farmers and 2 of them have to be Democrat farmers. And let me tell you, it was a chore trying to get people that want to participate and from the different parties. We were able to locate 4 folks that were more than willing to step up after some conversation. The 2 Republicans were Phil Godecki, Tim Eagle, and the 2 Democrats were Jim Perlee and George Coursey. These individuals were confirmed with the voter registration clerk in the Knox County Clerk's office to be the proper party. And we have one of the spokesmen for the families that are requesting as well. The requirements were met by publicly posting. The minimum is 5 conspicuous places. I posted them in person on February 20th, 7 conspicuous places. Those being the Altona Post Office, Oneida Post Office, Watauga Post Office, Victoria Post Office, the Knox County Farm Bureau, and the USDA Field Office here in Galesburg. Pursuant to the statute, the requirement was to have a public hearing as well in a public and convenient location, somewhat close to the parcels in question. That public hearing was held on Thursday, March 13th at 5:30 p.m. at the Copley Township Building, where all 5 members of that committee attended, as well as 2 members of the general public and the spokesman for the petitioners. And there were no comments or opposition filed. And the parcels and the petitions are also entered in with the board packet. With that, we've met all the requirements of the statutory requirements for holding a withdrawal petition for withdrawal. So it comes to us to either approve or deny that withdrawal. So is there any questions or discussion? Member Davidson?
I'm going to vote no because since January, I sent you texts, I've put in information during my committee meeting asking who was supported. As the chair of the Democratic Party, I wanted to be a part of it, and it was crickets, nothing, no response, no nothing. And then I have to read in the packet everything that's went on, which you did not. First, Josh said he got too busy. The chairman of the committee said, and he passed it over to the chair. But this is not 2 people running this county board. It's all of us. And especially as a Democratic chair, I should have had the right to look and see who it was. So, no. I mean, and I believe that I just have to assume that they are Democrats in their voting thing, but I don't know because I was never informed.
Any other comments? I will respond that the board packet was made available on Friday, so there was availability to confirm or ask questions since Friday. There was one text message received, and at that time, there was no committee formed because we couldn't find two Democrats to step onto the board. But nonetheless, the right is not any of ours to know any of that information other than the statute requirements have been met. The packet's been published with all the details since Friday afternoon or Friday evening, I believe. Saturday morning, I'm sorry. The agenda was published on Friday. But we're here to either approve or deny the petitions that have been fully met for these families to withdraw their parcels from the agricultural protection area.
I got a comment. I'd just like to add that I did head the hearing. There was no public comment in for or opposition. Mr. Appel was obviously there for his representing the family that was asking to have the parcels removed. So I would ask that everybody votes yes. I don't think it really has anything to do with who had, it was posted at all the locations as required by law. So I don't think that we should withhold from a family wanting to remove the parcels from that ag district. So that's all I have.
Any other comments? Call the roll, please.
Ready. All right, Pew.
I'm going to abstain.
Abstain. Theory.
Yes.
Kramer.
Yes.
Nachi.
No.
J. Frederick.
Yes.
Davidson.
No.
Hawkinson.
Yes.
Boone.
Yes.
Weiss. Yes. Bondi.
Yes.
Cohen.
No.
Olinger.
Yes.
And B. Frederick.
Yes.
9 ayes, 3 nays, 1 abstention, Mr. Chair.
Motion passes. Item number 6, I'll take a motion to approve the settlement agreement for Hans versus Knox County in the amount of $7,500.
So moved.
Second.
Got that? All right. That information was discussed and is in your packet for the settlement in that amount of $7,500. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Pugh.
Yes.
Theory.
Yes.
Kramer.
Yes.
Nachi.
Yes.
J. Frederick.
Yes.
Davidson.
Yes.
Hawkinson.
Yes.
Boone.
Yes.
Weiss.
Yes.
Bondi.
Yes.
Cohen.
Yes.
Olinger.
Yes.
And B. Frederick.
Yes.
13 ayes, Mr. Chair.
Motion passes. I'll take a motion to approve item number 7, the settlement agreement for the health department in the amount of $6,490.
So moved.
That information's also been discussed. In the appropriate location is also in the packet for the settlement agreement in that amount. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Pugh.
Yes.
Theory.
Yes.
Kramer.
Yes.
Nachi.
Yes.
J. Frederick.
Yes.
Davidson.
Yes.
Hawkinson.
Yes.
Boone.
Yes.
Weiss.
Yes.
Bondi.
Yes.
Cohen.
Yes.
Olinger.
Yes.
And B. Frederick.
Yes.
13 ayes, Mr. Chair.
All right, motion passes. Item number 8, I'll take a motion to approve the appointment to the Knoxville Fire Protection District of Gary Eklund. This is a new appointment. Just make sure that everybody presses your diocese button when you're making your motion in a second for the record, because
Yell real loud.
that way it's on audio record, because I might not have mine on. You have a motion in a second?
I got you.
Okay. That information's in the packet. Is there any questions on this? This is submitted by the trustee president, Don Moffett. Call the roll, please.
Pugh.
Yes.
Theory.
Yes.
Kramer.
Yes.
Nachi.
Yes.
J. Frederick.
Yes.
Davidson.
Yes.
Hawkinson.
Yes.
Boone.
Yes.
Weiss.
Yes.
Bondi.
Yes.
Cohen.
Yes.
Olinger.
Yes.
And B. Frederick.
Yes.
13 ayes, Mr. Chair.
Motion passes. I'll take a motion to approve item number 9, the appointment to the Galesburg Sanitary District trustee of Kenneth Swanson. This is a reappointment.
So moved.
So, second,
All right, Kenny is here. He's been on that board for how many years, Kenny? That sounds, so. Yep, I see the marshal is here too. That information is in the packet and I'd gladly have him back on there as a trustee for that, that department. So would Marshall. Is there any comments or questions? Member Davidson.
I thought I had it on. Oh. I just like to say, Ken, you've been there, when it was bad times, you've been there when it's good times and all the different things that are going out to the sanitation. We need somebody that is dedicated. That's a really good, group of people they have on there. And they're doing good things that last, many, many years after I'm living. So I want to say thank you. Thank you for your service.
Any other discussion? Call the roll, please.
Alrighty, Pugh,
Yes.
Theory,
Yes.
Kramer,
Yes.
Nachi,
Yes.
Jay Frederick,
Yes.
Davidson,
Yes.
Hawkinson,
Yes.
Boone,
Yes.
Weiss,
Yes.
Bondy,
Yes.
Cohen,
Yes.
Olinger,
Yes.
and B Frederick.
Yes.
13 ayes, Mr. Chair.
Motion passes. Thank you. I'll take a motion for item 10 to approve the payment from the ARPA appropriation to the Family Planning of Western Illinois in the amount of $51,057.06.
So moved.
Second.
All right, this item typically would go through the Ways and Means Committee. However, this was, didn't meet, the time frame for the Ways and Means Committee. I was approached by, this organization's attorney on I believe Friday afternoon. They've had a change in leadership at the organization and have found that they're in dire need of some funding to continue doing some of the operational services that they provide the community. And I agreed to at least put it on the item from the chair for discussion and potential action from the board. This would come from the ARPA, and anybody have any, to also go back, this organization was granted $100,000 from ARPA when we did the community grants. So it's went through all the vetting and interviews and reviews, and they've already drawn down the remainder of that $49,000. They're just requesting the remainder to stay afloat. Or I shouldn't stay afloat, but to help fund and continue giving proper resources. Are there any questions? Please call the roll.
Excuse me, Pugh,
Yes.
Theory,
Yes.
Kramer,
Yes.
Nachi,
Yes.
Jay Frederick,
Yes.
Davidson,
Yes.
Hawkinson,
Yes.
Boone,
Abstain.
Abstain.
Weiss,
Yes.
Bondy,
Abstain.
Cohen,
Yes.
Olinger,
Abstain.
and B Frederick.
Abstain.
We have 9 ayes, no nays, 1, 2, 3, 4 abstentions, Mr. Chair.
All right, motion passes. That's it from the items from the chair. I'll turn it over to Vice Chair Frederick for the Committee on Ways and Means report and subsequent action items.
Alrighty, my report was in your packet. We had lots of talks there at the meeting. One thing we're talking about is, it seems early, but you'll see on our schedule here that, or on our item 13, that we're starting to talk about budget schedule and get that set up. So we're getting ready to ramp up and get that done. With that, we'll move right into item 12. I'll put this for a motion, approve deeds of conveyance, approve resolutions on deeds of conveyance.
So moved.
All right, we had 2 of them, right, Scott? Yeah, we had three of them. So this is putting it back on the tax roll so we can get some money coming back out of them. Questions or comments on this? Call for roll them, please.
Pugh,
Yes.
Theory,
Yes.
Kramer,
Yes.
Nachi,
Yes.
Jay Frederick,
Yes.
Davidson,
Yes.
Hawkinson,
Yes.
Boone,
Yes.
Weiss. Yes. Bondy. Yes. Cohen,
Yes.
Olinger,
Yes.
and B. Frederick.
Yes.
13 ayes, Mr. Chair.
All right, item 14, no, item 13, sorry. Approved budget change, or approved budget schedule for FY 2026. All right, this is the same as what we did last year, but the only thing that's changed is the dates because of the year. So it's only off a day or so, but it's the same schedule as what we did last year. So this will get us going, and everybody seemed to be all right the last year, and we'll get rolling budgets, and once people get their things turned in, and get going on it. Any questions or comments on this? All right, roll call, please.
Righty, Pugh,
Yes.
Theory,
Yes.
Kramer,
Yes.
Machi,
Yes.
J. Frederick,
Yes.
Davidson,
Yes.
Hawkinson,
Yes.
Boone,
Yes.
Weiss,
Yes.
Bondy,
Yes.
Cohen,
Yes.
Olinger,
Yes.
and B. Frederick.
Yes.
13 ayes, Mr. Chair.
All right. Item 14, I'll put this for a motion. Approve intergovernmental agreement with Warren County for inmate housing. All right, this is the same contracts that we've entered into with the Cook County, and the same as what we're getting for the federal inmates. So it's the same contract as everybody else that matches. I do not know how many they got planned coming. I don't think it was discussed, but they just need an option to get inmates in here if they need room. Questions or comments on this?
Right. The only comment is we've already had a contract with them. This one's just to renew and extend it.
Yeah.
There's no end date. This will be just one of those contracts that requires 30 days for an exit clause.
For either party.
Okay.
Any questions? Roll call, please.
Pugh,
Yes.
Theory,
Yes.
Kramer,
Yes.
Machi,
Yes.
J. Frederick,
Yes.
Davidson,
No.
Hawkinson,
Yes.
Boone,
Yes.
Weiss,
Yes.
Bondy,
Yes.
Cohen,
Yes.
Olinger,
Yes.
and B. Frederick.
Yes.
12 ayes, 1 nay, no abstentions, Mr. Chair.
All right, item 15, and put this on a motion. Approved purchase of Glassmaster CC 206 boat for water rescue team.
Second.
All right, this is the sheriff and their team has been looking for a boat for quite a while to update their current one, which has been somewhat dangerous to them at times in certain waters. So this is a larger boat that's safer and fit their needs better. This boat is in Indiana, the dealership over there that they'll get to go over and test the boat out next week if this gets approved to see if it meets their needs. And the boat is $14,000. They have $15,000 in this account, and they have brought in $8,000 to fundraisers, to a pancake cook they did, and to a chili cook-off they did. So they have $8,000 they've brought in themselves trying to do this. One thing I'd like to add too is we discussed this, and I don't remember if we voted on it, but we approved it. We talked about it and said we was going to do it. That we was also going to pay for some of this out of the ARPA fund, which we don't need to today, but that'll be forthcoming. So to remind people of that when we talked about that Ways and Means back when we did the budget. Any questions or comments on this?
The only correction is the used boat price is $14,850. And it is budgeted and there is funds available.
Pam?
Where are they gonna store the boat, and do we have ARPA money put aside for that?
There's still money in the ARPA account. We haven't voted on setting it aside for them yet. But they have money tonight to pay for this out of their account.
Okay, and where are they gonna store it?
Jack? And like the cars that we usually buy, the lights and stuff is pretty minimal. We'll transfer the stuff over. They'll just do that themselves. So there won't be another cost to that and the lights, anything to that. They'll just take it off the old boat and transfer it there, then decommission the old boat, is what I understand. Yeah, they bought some of their rescue equipment during Black Friday. I know one got a real big discount on that. They kept me aware of that, so they did everything they could to try to save money to get this going, keep it afloat. Any other questions or comments? Call the vote.
Pugh,
Yes.
Theory,
Yes.
Kramer,
Yes.
Machi,
Yes.
Jay Frederick,
Yes.
Davidson,
Yes.
Hawkinson,
Yes.
Boone,
Yes.
Weiss.
Yes.
Pondy.
Yes.
Cohen,
Yes.
Olinger,
Yes.
and B Frederick.
Yes.
13 ayes with share.
All right, item 16, I put this form in motion. Approved purchase of 2021 Chevy Tahoe for the Sheriff's Department.
Second.
All righty, this is a used Tahoe, from the, Groveland. Is that it? From the city of Groveland, Green Valley, sorry. It has about 40,000 miles on it. I'll refer to Jared on the price because I don't have my iPad's not up and running here, but it's 43,000 and.
Yeah,
Sorry,
22, just over 22,000 miles. That's being sold with equipment installed, equipped for $43,000.
And we are down some vehicles due to, our lovely deer in the area. So I think we're 3 vehicles we've totaled this year from deer. So you get hunters out there and knock some more of them out, I guess, but so that's why we're looking at this one. And this one gets us up going pretty quick versus we order one and it takes quite a while to get it. So, and this has a lot of equipment. We still have to install a laptop, I think, on it, a few other things, but majority of this stuff is already on us and going. Any other questions or comments, Cheryl?
Now, does our insurance reimburse us a little bit being that it is the deer or depending on how it was done?
They put some money back in the account, but I mean, these squad cars, personally, I think that when we wreck one or whatever, we get so minimal amount of money out of it. I think the last one, I remember we got like $6,000 out of it. I don't remember, the sheriff maybe can, or, can remember.
Just a little over 6,000. I want to say 14 tours that last one was pulled out, one pulled out in 2016 tours, and then before that was the Chevy Tahoe that was actually granted to us by Buffett Foundation. So we're down 3 vehicles right now. This will help us at least get another vehicle up into the fleet, and then one of the vehicles, we have a new vehicle that we bought last year, well, we bought last year, and it's about to go on the road too, so this will start to help us get the fleet back up and running and get people back in vehicles instead of hot seat. And let some couple of these vehicles take a break.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Call the vote then, please.
Pugh,
Yes.
Theory,
Yes.
Kramer,
Yes.
Machi,
Yes.
Jay Frederick,
Yes.
Davidson,
Yes.
Hawkinson,
Yes.
Boone,
Yes.
Weiss,
Yes.
Pondy,
Yes.
Cohen,
Yes.
Olinger,
Yes.
and B Frederick.
Yes.
13 ayes with share.
All right, item 17, I put this form in motion. Approve intergovernmental agreement with Regional Office of Education for Abington Avon School Resource Officer. Second, please.
Second.
All righty, these, this is, they have a grant for this. They're also gonna go to Fulton County and get one in Avon, and then we'll have one in Abington. It's the exact same contract as we've been doing with the other, school districts in the area. Questions, comments?
Just to add to that, the Regional Office of Education received a grant for $70,000 to pay for the SRO in Abingdon, as well as $70,000 grant received for the middle school, or is it the grade school that's in Avon that will be covered by Fulton County Sheriff's Office. So we're only responsible for the Abingdon school. It still falls under the 75-25 contract, the same thing as we did with the Rova School District. The sheriff advised that it's not going to be effective immediately. It's one of those that's going to be effective. He wants to start interviewing with the school district June 1st, I believe it was. June 1st. That way they have time to get the selection completed and into the summer session of the school resource officer required mandated training through the state of Illinois. And if they have to put somebody through PTI to backfill that position, they have time to do that before the day of school starts. They want to have the person ready to go the day that school starts in session in the fall. And this would be pending, pending review from the state's attorney, as well as pending, review and, agreement from the, school board in Abingdon. They have not approved it yet, but they're moving that way. So just, it's all pending review from the state's attorney and the Abingdon School District.
Any other questions or comments? Call the vote then, please.
Pugh,
Yes.
Theory,
Yes.
Kramer,
Yes.
Nachi,
Yes.
Jay Frederick,
Yes.
Davidson,
Yes.
Hawkinson,
Yes.
Boone,
Yes.
Weiss,
Yes.
Pondy,
Yes.
Cohen,
No.
Olinger,
Yes.
and B Frederick.
Yes.
12 ayes, 1 nay, Mr. Chair.
Alrighty, item 18, I'll put this forward in motion. Approve repairs to the muffin monster for the jail. Second, please.
Second.
Alrighty, someone at the jail, I don't remember who, discovered this wasn't working. They made a service call to, our service contractor that takes care of this. The blades and knives and everything else, they are shot. So, they was told it was gonna be $17,000 to repair it. So, they're in the process of doing that. What this is, when stuff leaves the jail, anything that leaves the jail through the drains, goes through this thing. There's been issues before with blankets, pillows, different things getting to the sewer system of the jail, into the city of Galesburg, and the city of Galesburg enforced or made us put this in, otherwise they're gonna fine us. And now if this thing is not working, they will, if they find out it's not working, which they will after tonight, this open meeting, that, we need to get this fixed. So, anyway, so $17,000 to repair this, to get it up and going. And it's just plain wore out. Ms. Davis?
How long has it been, since we put them in there? I remember when people were putting magazines and stuff in there and we got all new ones. So you know how many years it been?
No, I do not, Pam.
And does it has a warranty?
I do not know. They're not putting a new one in, so probably won't have a warranty. It's just putting new knives and stuff on, getting it back up and going. It's not putting the whole one in, it's just fixing it. That's why, there was just a service call to see. It's not putting a new one in, just repairing it. Didn't. Okay. Any other questions or comments? Call to vote then?
Alrighty, Pugh,
Yes.
Theory,
Yes.
Kramer,
Yes.
Nachi,
Yes.
Jay Frederick,
Yes.
Davidson,
Yes.
Hawkinson,
Yes.
Boone,
Yes.
Weiss,
Yes.
Pondy,
Yes.
Cohen,
Yes.
Olinger,
Yes.
and B Frederick.
Yes.
13 ayes, Mr. Chair.
All right, item 19, I put this forward in motion, remove from the table a contract for hearing administrative officer. Second, please.
Second.
All righty. Jennifer, Jay Frederick. Yeah, that's right, team's going here. Need any discussion on this or just? All right,
Go straight to the
call
vote.
the vote, no discussion.
All right, on the motion to remove the item from the table, Pugh,
Yes.
Theory,
Yes.
Kramer,
Yes.
Nachi,
Yes.
Jay Frederick,
Yes.
Davidson,
Yes.
Hawkinson,
Yes.
Boone,
No.
Weiss,
Yes.
Pondy,
Yes.
Cohen,
Yes.
Olinger,
Yes.
and B Frederick.
Yes.
12 ayes, 1 nay, Mr. Chair. The item is removed from the table.
All right, item 20, up its forward motion, approve contract for hearing administrative officer. Second, please.
Second.
All righty. Questions or comments? Ms. Boone?
I have a comment. We were not provided any kind of resume in our packets this month or last month. We don't know his credentials. We were told that he qualifies for this job, but we are not shown that he qualifies for this job. We were not given any past law offices he has worked for. And so I had to resort to phone books. And I did some research. He's been an associate in a lot of law firms. So there's plenty of conflicts of interest involved with litigation, whether it's out in the rural areas, which if they don't have their own zoning, there's still all kinds of conflicts. Somebody might have an attorney that works with him or has worked with him. He works for the city of Galesburg. What if there's zoning concerns in the city of Galesburg with a conflict with the county policy? So I feel that it's important that we know who our candidate is. This person is not just going to be an advisor, they're going to make rulings. And we as county board members are going to have to uphold these rulings. So I feel that it's very important that we truly vet this position. We have a contract, or will be a contract where we pay this person $200 an hour. Well, there might be a better deal somewhere else. It's just like everything else. We should add, I really would like to know who I'm voting for and what I'm voting for. Thank you.
Yeah. Cheryl?
Okay, I don't know, should this have went out for bid, or did it go out for bid, or, or who chose this person? You know, I mean, she's right, nothing's been in the packet, you know, and as everybody knows, I have to ask people, but it doesn't seem like put somebody in there that we don't know about.
I can answer some of those.
Yeah, go ahead.
So since I wasn't here last month, I will say that Mr. Appel from the mayor of Altona had the village attorney, which is Mr. Carlin, get in contact with me regarding approved and authorized and educated people in the area that are currently doing adjudication work such as this, and recommended Mr. Robertson because he is certified in the state of Illinois to do the adjudication process such as this. I didn't call Mr. Robertson. Mr. Robertson contacted me, asked for a meeting, and then I put this name forward to the Ways and Means Committee, provided them the same information. Same questions were asked, same questions were provided, or same answers were provided, thus coming to the full board. To answer some of the questions for a conflict, Mr. Robertson is the administrative hearing officer for the city of Galesburg. Knox County zoning ordinances do not cover the city of Galesburg, so he wouldn't be able to have any conflict with the city of Galesburg because we don't have any authority in the city of Galesburg for their zoning. Outside of that, I mean, to answer Cheryl's question, to go out for public bid, it's a professional service. I checked with the state's attorney, since it's a professional service such as that. It is not required to go out for bid. However, that was poised to the committee, and the committee brought it forward to come forward to the full board. So, and here we are. But I wanted to make sure that it was put back on the agenda so we can have the discussion and either vote it up or vote it down and move on to the next. If we need to go out for public bid at the direction of the board, then that's what we'll do. But our elected responsibilities is not to keep tabling things and to address them and either vote them up or vote them down.
Kimberly?
Yes, I just want to put it out that I am going to abstain because he has represented me before. So I feel like there's a conflict, but I do think that he is well qualified. He's always done a good job as an attorney, very ethical. So I personally wouldn't have a problem with him, but because he has been my attorney, I'm going to abstain.
Any other questions? Pamela?
I've been on this board long enough when they first started having one, and Chris was our
Zoning administrator.
Huh? Zoning administrator, and definitely we needed one, but at that time, we looked at several of them before Mr. Chad Long. And we found which one was the perfect pick for Knox County. And it just wasn't because someone called her up. She brought several selections to the committee. And we discussed them and seeing what was the weaknesses and what was their strengths. So I feel that, Jeremy Carlin, he campaigned, he called several of us up and asked us to get him. I mean, but that's not the reason. That's why we have standing committees to look at this situation, which be the best for Knox County. And I feel that, I don't know him personally, but I think it should have been, put out to other attorneys that can do just as well or a good fit for Knox County.
Todd?
Yeah, I'll have to abstain, is my employment.
Any other questions or comments? No. All right, call the vote.
All righty, Pugh,
Yes.
Theory,
Abstain?
Kramer,
Yes.
Nachi,
No.
Jay Frederick,
No.
Davidson,
No.
Hawkinson,
Yes.
Boone,
No.
Weiss,
Yes.
Bondi, Yes. Cohen,
No.
Olinger,
Abstain.
and B Frederick.
Yes.
6 ayes, 5 nays, 2 abstentions, Mr. Chair.
Motion passes. Thank you, Vice Chair Frederick, for your report and subsequent action items. We'll move on to.
I got one thing to say here before we end. Robert Davis has contacted me earlier this week. There was an extra voucher that did not go through our committee. I wanted to make everybody aware of it. She has a voucher for postage to mail the real estate taxes out this year. She has changed vendors and they want their money up front. And so this voucher is in there for $15,900. Just received it. They're W-9, but even though we're not sending the taxes out, she needs to have this bill ready or have this voucher approved. So when it's ready to go, it goes out. So if there's any questions before we move on, I'd like to discuss that before we get to the bills. Questions or comments? Alrighty, I'm done.
All right. So it took the thunder out of the bills section. I don't have to worry about that. All right, item 21 is the report from the Committee on the Public Service, Member Theory.
We had our meeting on the 17th, which I was not in attendance, and the vice chair, Mr. Sandoval, ran the meeting, and he's not in attendance today. So we have no action items. Everything's in the packet, and that's it.
All right, thank you. Next up is item 22, the presentation from the infrastructure. I'm sorry, I didn't see your hand. Go ahead.
I have a statement. Mr. Sandoval's not here and Kim was here, but one of the issues that goes on, and I went to the Ways and Means because the public servants meeting, is that we as elected officials have county committee meetings and the departments do not show up at them, especially at that one, only two, the Mary Davis home and the corner. And it is a shame that we okay bills and sign off on their bills when they're not even there to represent their departments and tell us what's going on. It is truly an issue and we need to stop signing off on their bills if they can't take the time to come to the committee meetings and inform us to make the best decision for Knox County. It's shameful. And it's just not public service, but it's other ones. I take out infrastructure and Ways and Means because people show up. But we make decisions for this county and for these departments, and they should show up and educate us and tell us about the issues instead of just sending bills across the table. We need, as elected officials, to stop it. We have the power to tell them to come or don't pass their bills.
Any other comments? I do echo Member Davidson's demand that we do have our department heads show up. However, I do oppose that as a statutory constitutional officers, we've been down this road before. And any bills that are submitted have to be paid if they have the allotment and have been appropriated. We just can't say, just because you don't show up, we can't pay your bills. That we've been down that road before. However, it is needed that they do show up and provide updates to their budget, answer questions about their budget, answer questions and provide updates to how the staffing or activities go on for their office. And we talked about that at the Ways and Means Committee, and we will be having conversations one-on-one with every department head and elected official. So thanks to those that do show up and provide updates for your department.
I want to address that. I also want to echo what Member Davidson said. And I partially agree with what you said as well, but I guess where the problem is if we have a question on a specific bill that seems like it's out in right field, I don't think we should be able to, we should have to approve that if there's not someone there to answer it.
I do agree. That's why with a committee week, we've got a full week usually to get those questions answered. In the past, that there's been questions on specific bills that committee chair will pull the bill from that committee and request clarification and then explain that bill during the full board. But yes, you are correct. All right. Now we're on to Bob, Infrastructure Committee and
Okay.
report and subsequent action items.
Thank you very much. Our monthly report and minutes is in your packet. Are there any comments or questions before I go on to action items? If not, I'll go on to the first action item, number 23, to approve the bid and buy for financing of a 2025 Kenworth roll-off truck for 4 years. This is for the landfill. I'll make that in the form of a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We'll take them all. Thank you very much. This amount's going to be estimated at about $210,000 that's being financed. The new truck will be ready for delivery in April. Line item 012-422-585-9045. And the bids went out to 12 different banks, of which we had 6 responses, and the winning rate was by Anderson State Bank at 2.9%. Is there any comments or questions? Not, I'd ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
All righty. Pugh,
Yes.
Theory. Oh crap, I lost her too. Kramer,
Yes.
Nachi,
Yes.
Frederick, J. Frederick,
Yes.
Davidson,
Yes.
Hawkinson,
Yes.
Boone,
Yes.
Weiss,
Yes.
Bondi,
Yes.
Cohen,
Yes.
Olinger,
Yes.
and B. Frederick.
Yes.
12 ayes, no nays, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Item number 24 is to approve professional service agreement with Hanson Professional Services, section 25-00043-02 BR for the Highway Department. I'll make that in the form of a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you very much. The bridge carrying County Road 10 over the Burlington Northern Santa Fe Yard south of Galesburg was built in 1985 per the agreement put in place posting the construction of the Illinois Department of Transportation has completing the routine inspection and structure required the National Bridge Inspection Standards. In 2023, there was a significant rehabilitation of the project completed County Road structure, or County Road Highway 10 structure. Majority of the funds for rehabilitation project was provided by the Illinois Commerce Commission. One of the terms of the funding agreement was the Knox County will assume all responsibility for completing the routine bridge inspection as required by the MBIS. The rehabilitation project addresses several key elements of the bridge that were in poor condition. This next inspection should reflect the improvement and hopefully the upgrade of the elements to satisfactory or good. In 2019, the Hanson Professional Services completed the in-depth inspection of the development of the bridge condition report. Bridge condition report was the guide in which we used to determine the extent of the rehabilitation and was completed in 2023. Same, the key elements of the structure that were the work in place, replaced the expansion joints, partial full depth, the deck patching, approach slab, structure of concrete, and repairs of the clean and paint the steel beams at the end. I won't go on with any more explanation, but the budget impact has been explained. The amount will exceed 40,000. There's $230,000 in the 24-25 county bridge fund budget to cover the expense line item 0070005604030. Are there any comments or questions? Not, I'd ask for the clerk to call the roll.
All righty, Pugh,
Yes.
Kramer,
Yes.
Machi,
Yes.
Jay Frederick,
Yes.
Davidson,
Yes.
Hawkinson,
Yes.
Boone,
Yes.
Weiss. Yes. Bondi,
Yes.
Cohen. Yes. Olinger
Yes.
and B Frederick.
Yes.
12 ayes, no nays, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Item number 25 is to approve the resolution for certificate of authority for the county engineer to enter into a joint participation agreement for the salt procurement. Make that in the form of a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you very much. Starting last year, all units of local government that participate in the state procurement process for rock salt are required to provide a certificate of authority. This grant, the county engineer, the official signature right and authority to submit and require documents on behalf of the Knox County in order to participate in the joint purchasing process of the acquisition of rock salt. This is already budgeted for. Last year we did 1,000 tons and prior year 2,000 tons, and we're going to be going for 1,000 tons this period. There's no budget impact, and it's part of our pre-approved amounts as we did for this calendar year budget. Are there any comments or questions? Not, I'd ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Pugh,
Yes.
Kramer,
Yes.
Machi,
Yes.
Jay Frederick,
Yes.
Davidson,
Yes.
Hawkinson,
Yes.
Boone,
Yes.
Weiss.
Yes.
Bondi,
Yes.
Cohen. Yes. Olinger
Yes.
and B Frederick.
Yes.
11 ayes, 1 nay, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Item number 26 is to approve the resolution awarding the MFT aggregate bids for the various townships, section 25-XX000-00-GM. I'll make that in form of a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Each year, the county highway department accepts bids for the various items that will be utilized by the county and township in the annual maintenance program. The bids are being presented to you were open on March 17th at 10 a.m. at Knox County Department. Bidders are required to submit a 5% bid guarantee with their bid, and the guarantees will be retained until the materials have been furnished or the work has been satisfactorily completed. This is part of the motor fuel tax, and based on, it appears that the townships will spend approximately $225,000 on the delivery of the various aggregates. That line item has currently approximately $2.8 million in it. Are there any comments or questions? Now, I'd ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Pugh,
Yes.
Kramer,
Yes.
Machi,
Yes.
Jay Frederick,
Yes.
Davidson,
Yes.
Hawkinson,
Yes.
Boone,
Yes.
Weiss,
Yes.
Bondi,
Yes.
Cohen. Yes. Olinger
Yes.
and B Frederick.
Yes.
No.
12 ayes, no nays, Mr. Chair.
27 is to approve the payment request by MSI for the Mary Davis Home bid package design under the performance contract. Draw number 1 for $189,810.00. Make that in the form of a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. This is part of the performance contract, first bid, first draw. Are there any comments or questions? Yes, Pam?
With the performance contract, we're supposed to have things to saying what the improvement is and how long, how we can get our money back. Is there anything that is stating what our savings is?
I cannot speak to that. I put a copy of the performance contract actually in the packet for everybody to
Seen
review.
that, but I didn't see no savings.
Pardon?
Will there be any savings or anything? I didn't see that.
I can't speak to that item. Jared, do you have any
This-
input on that?
Yeah, the only thing that this bill is for is the bid package design that was approved in September of 2024. This isn't for any work. This is for the bid, the drawings, all the
Putting all the
engineering
materials together.
to go out for
Bids.
bid, which it's currently out for public bid right now.
Is this the one where they already purchased the material?
I'm not aware of any material that's been purchased for that,
No, I
but
don't-
this is for the spec, this is for the,
I think
this
you're
is for the
referring to.
professional services bid package design, as it says in the comments of the bill.
I think you're referring to a project that happened last year or 2 years ago. Any other questions?
Mm-mm.
Not. Call the clerk, call the roll, please.
All righty, Pugh,
Yes.
Kramer,
Yes.
Nachi,
Yes.
Jay Frederick,
Yes.
Davidson,
Yes.
Hawkinson,
Yes.
Boone,
Yes.
Weiss,
Yes.
Bondi,
Yes.
Cohen. Yes. Olinger
Yes.
and B Frederick.
Yes.
All ayes, no nays, Mr. Chair.
Item number 20, to approve the payment request from MSI for the fire alarm system and security under the performance contract in the amount of $9,243.50. This is in regards to the county jail.
Second.
Make that in the form of a motion. Thank you. And there's a second from Josh. This, the request and the invoice is in hand. The second. The overall project was $415,040. Contract to date is still $415,040. Total completed or stored to date is $319,115.15. Retainage for completed work on this draw $15,955.76. Total earned less retainage to date, $303,159.39. Plus the application for the payment, $293,915.89. So the current payment requested is $9,243.50. Balance to finish, including retainage, $111,880.61. All releases, lien waivers, and seals to demonstrate that this work has been completed is in hand. Are there any comments or questions?
Just the only comment is, looks like the vendor that provided this lien waiver or waiver of lien for the work completed is Tufel Hunden. I think that's how you pronounce it. That's who did the work, is the vendor.
It is Addison Wilkins, isn't it? Of CNI Laundry Systems. Is the lien waiver. Am I looking at a different document than you have? There's several lien waivers, Mid Illinois Company. The actual lien waivers are for greater amounts than the actual draw, so they must accumulate to the overall completion of this level of work.
Right, I'm looking at page 169. Oh, I just went right by it.
Of my packet,
Yeah, it shows that amount. It might have other lien waivers for other work.
there's the total of 2 separate lien waivers. And then there's a listing of lien waivers to date.
Correct.
And the last lien waivers is, as you said, Tufol, London and Electronics for that, for the 9,730.
Correct. And that's the amount of the bill.
But all the other lien waivers that I just mentioned are also in this packet.
Right.
Anything else?
Good.
No other questions, please call the roll.
All righty, Pugh,
Yes.
Kramer,
Yes.
Nachi,
Yes.
Jay Frederick,
Yes.
Davidson,
Yes.
Hawkinson,
Yes.
Boone,
Yes.
Weiss,
Yes.
Bundy,
Yes.
Cohen,
Yes.
Olinger,
Yes.
and B Frederick.
Yes.
12 ayes, no nays, Mr. Chair.
Item number 29 is to approve the bid and bring back for the whole courthouse generator. I'll make that in the form of a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. The judicial team has received a grant from the state of Illinois, administrative offices of the state of Illinois courts to install a generator that would power the whole courthouse. As we understand it, to have the bid and bring back will give us the chance to see, one, how much this will cost. I guess I make that in form of motion. Is there a second? Excuse me. Okay. Anyhow, the bid is supposed to, we'll be putting this out for a public bid to review how much it's going to cost and to clear that with the Illinois courts administrative office that they will accept it. Right now, the representation, as I understand it, and I'll turn this over to Jared because he was the one that received this information, was that they'll pay 100% of it, but they want to see what these bids would be. Jared, I'll let you explain.
Right. What's this? What's that? Yeah, I agree. I received notice from the administrative judge Doyle for Knox County that he received notification from the administrative office of Illinois courts that Knox County has received a $600,000 grant to install a whole courthouse generator. Judge Doyle has been out of the office or away from his desk with other items. Hopefully he'll send me the actual requirements for the dates that it needs to be sent out in for public bidding, as well as the requirements. The engineering firm, if this passes, will get sent to Klinger and Associates, which is our engineering firm, who will gather the data, do the electrical review of the courthouse to see if what's being provided is matches what is needed, and then it will go out for bid, and then we'll review those bids and move forward. There's a question that the judge was going to get answered by the state that he thought it had to be bid out and installed and operational by the end of the state's fiscal year. Well, that's impossible. June, that's impossible. So we think that there's wording in there that allows, as long as it's been procured and approved and awarded, that money is locked in. But there's more to come on that, but he wants to get it, at least start the bid process. That way we can get that money utilized from the
Will
state.
we be compensated for the study that Klinger?
They're paying 100% of the whole thing.
But do we need a bid from Klinger first in order to get that approved as the first step?
Klinger has been approved years ago as our
No,
in-house.
But it sounds to me like the administrative court is requiring bids on everything, so we'd have to have a separate bid.
They're not requiring bids on anything. It's our facility. They just got the money. So this is a bid and bring back to have our engineering firm gather the specs, put it out for public bidding, and then send it back to us.
Won't there be an expense from Klinger to do that?
That this grant pays for all the engineering.
So we don't have to stair step this. That
No.
They approve the first step and then
They,
the second.
they're paying 100% of everything associated with installing a
What happens
courthouse
if they,
generator.
come along, say the generator's $2 million? I know it won't be that.
Right.
Say it's 2 million and they say, well, we don't want to pay for that.
Then we will vote it down, I would hope.
Well, one, we'd vote it down, and two, will we get compensated for the study
Yes,
that we?
as far as I know from what the judge says, yes, they're still paying 100% of all actions related to.
So all actions related in the process of getting it.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Yes, I asked the clerk to call the, unless there's any other questions. Ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Pugh,
Yes.
Kramer,
Yes.
Nachi,
Yes.
Jay Frederick,
Yes.
Davidson,
Yes.
Hawkinson,
Yes.
Boone,
Yes.
Weiss,
Yes.
Bondy,
Yes.
Cohen,
Yes.
Olinger,
Yes.
and B Frederick.
Yes.
12 ayes, no nays, Mr. Chair.
This item 30 is there a motion to remove from the table the amendment to the performance contract, adding 50 East Main Street building? Is there a motion? Is there a second?
Second.
All righty, on the motion on the floor is to remove from the table item number third, or the performance contract for 50 E, or the performance contract to 50 East. To remove from the table, Pugh,
Yes.
Kramer,
Yes.
Nachi,
Yes.
Jay Frederick,
Yes.
Davidson,
Yes.
Hawkinson,
Yes.
Boone,
Yes.
Weiss.
Yes.
Bondy,
No.
Cohen,
No.
Olinger,
Abstain.
and B Frederick.
Yes.
All right, we have 9 ayes, 2 nays, and 1 abstention, Mr. Chair.
Item number 31, looking for a motion to approve the amendment to the performance contract, master contract, to add 50 East Main to the building into the contract. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second? Siri, shut up. Sorry. I'd like to make a comment on this, if I may, please.
Yep, it's open for discussion.
Okay. I'd like to say that MSI is an outstanding, excellent contractor in this area, as well as AMP, Bazio, Mangieri. There are countless number of wonderful, Lambazio, Groom, Dowers. We have great contractors in this marketplace. I think Mr. Moore made some errors in his comments earlier tonight, characterizing that process that we would use in performance contract or otherwise would allow other contractors to come in and actually bid on this situation. But I have to admit that we are probably imposing on MSI to expand their performance contract beyond the existing agreements. I think we're somewhat compromising them and putting them in a light that's not appropriate, as they not only would possibly be the general contractor in this situation, but also providing other services. I think for the matter of how things appear, it would be more appropriate to allow us to have participation from all contractors. And I'm afraid that, at least from the communication I've been receiving in our community, compromising MSI to take on this task might also compromise us on getting other competitive bids. With that said, I think if the process goes through that either that we'd open it up to other potentials for performance contract, or generally just find a proper general contractor that has no subcontractor associated with their roles, and have them review the situation, that I think we would have a more even-handed approach, better bids, and somebody who's independent in this process. I can't thank MSI enough for their willingness to take on additional responsibilities, but again, to make sure that we're even-handed in our approach on all the contractors and suppliers in our region that might participate. I think at this point in time, it's best to possibly limit them in this particular item and go forward with a more open approach. Thank you.
Thanks, Bob. I'll make my comment.
Go right ahead.
Since I wasn't here last month to participate in this motion to table or the discussion. I had Mr. Erickson place it on the agenda this evening for the same reason as the other tabled item. We were elected to make the big decisions, whether we like it or not, and with the information that was provided. Just my comments on this, and when I came to the committee in January and provided the very first thing out of my mouth at the committee meeting was, however the committee votes to forward it to the county board is how we will address it. If the board votes it down, then we'll address it then for furtherance of whatever we need to do to start the process at 50 East Main Street, whether it be the additional building that's added to the master contract, or it's voted down and it goes out for public bidding for a general contractor or construction manager, or however it's going to be worded for that facility. And at that meeting, that committee meeting, every board member went one by one and shared their thoughts and shared their concerns and asked questions of the current master contract general contractor, and was successfully answered. And it came out of that committee to forward it to the full board. And that's where we went. So for everybody to get all excited, it came from the committee. If you don't like what's going on at the committees, start showing up at the committees and start participating and engage in a rightful and thoughtful manner. But this is just we have to move on it at some point. If we don't go with the current status, then that's fine. But in my opinion, as Bob said, the current general contractor has done an outstanding job in providing anything that we request or demand. Everything has been publicly bid, contrary to what people think or say, to paint a bad light. Everything, all the work has been done with the exception of the emergency roofing project, phase 1, but that was vetted by the state's attorney and approved by this board in a public fashion. Everything that this company does has been approved by this board. All the payments have been approved by this board. So it doesn't matter to me which way we go, but we have to go somewhere. So that's my statement.
I'd like to make a statement as well. So it seems like there's a little confusion about how this works. We're talking a general contractor here. So a lot of people make it sound like this doesn't go out for public bid. It still goes out for public bid. Every bit of work that's done in this building goes out for a public bid. It's just managed by this company. We need to keep that in mind as well.
Any other comments?
It's more of a question. The current contract, when does that expire? If we add this building onto it, when do you as a board renegotiate a new contract with, in the future? So how long would this building be on this contract?
However long, there is no expiration on the master contract.
Okay, I didn't know that. You know what I mean? Okay, thank you.
Member Nachi?
We gotta remember that a performance contract is not a maintenance contract. It is performance. We do not, and it's to save us money. Right now, on the East Main project, we don't know how much money we're gonna save. They can't tell us how much money we're gonna save, because guess what? We're not in there yet. So that's the reason I think everybody is so confused. Because to save us money, we need to know what we're doing, and we really don't right now on a building that we've just purchased, even though you've showed us designs and this and that. So, I don't need to hear the spiel, you've seen this, you've seen that, been there, done that, and I go to meetings, even meetings that I don't get paid to go to. So I don't get included in that. So we just gotta know that when the people come to us, they wanna know. And this is the only thing I can tell them, is that we don't know what we're gonna save you. And they cannot honestly tell us what they're gonna save us, But everything, we need an analogies. We need an analogy and then go from there. Or if they're gonna do an analogy, you know, I think the public just wants their questions answered. Thank you.
Member Cohen?
I'd have to agree with Board Member Bondi. We have lots of great contractors and groups within our county that can fill this role. You know, as we know from the past, MSI won the previous one. That being said, there is a solid chance they could win this next one. But the point remains that I don't think I can look my constituents in the eye and tell them I did my due diligence if we didn't go out for bid and gave a solid shot and seeing at what the best offer is in this free market. And with that kind of at the top of my mind, I would like to see us go back out for bid. I'm staying consistent from my viewpoint in the committee, and I know some people didn't agree with me. I know there's been some public outcry, so I hope that people have seen that this is something that the public might want. But I will stay consistent with my vote, and I will be voting no.
Member Davidson?
Like Member Nachi said, a performance contract is something that is a guaranteed savings. We pay Klinger, an engineer, to go out and set statutes or set for bids or tell the contractors what to do, and they can put it up for bid. And we should be putting it, all of our bids on our website that truly hasn't been updated in years. But we should be doing that for it be open to the public for everybody to see it. We do have fabulous contractors that can do numerous of things, but it seems like MSI got the performance contract. I still haven't seen anything from the Mary Davis home or the jail of how much savings we've had. And then again, we are not in there. I said that last month. We haven't even got in there yet to know what needs to be because the previous owner had it. So I will be voting no because we need to put it out for bid. We need to put more things out for bid for we can get the best for Knox County and our finances.
Any other comments?
I'll get one shot.
Well, make sure everybody else gets
Yeah.
one round first. Any first round comments? Member Bondi, second round, go ahead.
Generally, we do have a parameter. Clinton Klinger gave us some estimates when we put the master plan together, when we purchased this building. And they were very conservative with what they thought it would be. And I think it was a shade under $2 million, if I remember correctly, to renovate it substantially the way we thought we would need it. Now there's some other revisions that'll go along. So maybe that's the benchmark of what we can or possibly could save. But with that said, this is not a throwing anybody under the bus in any way, shape, or form. I just think that we're at a point in this process that for not only for our public, our constituents, but also for our own peace of mind, having an opportunity to just take a double look at what other general contractors might. As far as I'm concerned, MSI may well win this thing out, but I don't know that we went through the process as we should. And I don't think they were kind enough to just step up to the bar and say they do it. I think we're imposing on them. I think them in competition will still prevail possibly, but at the same time, I think we have to look at all possibilities so we're even handed, that everybody in this region has had a chance to take a look at it, that we're open. This is going to be a hallmark moment for the county. This building is going to really make a difference how our administrative process happens. It's going to be quite a benchmark, not only for the city of Galesburg, but of course Knox County. And we want to be even handed to give everybody an opportunity to have a part in this process. Thank you.
Any other comments?
Yeah, I got one.
Member Kramer?
The only thing I'd like to add is that I've been a chairman of 2 committees now, and on both those committees, I served with buildings that we had the performance contract with MSI With that being said, I got questioned about different maintenance things, and every time I called MSI, I had an answer. If I didn't have an answer right then and there, it was, I'm gonna look into this matter and I'll get back to you. And it was a timely fashion. So I think we need to also consider that our current performance contract with MSI, that they have stepped up and in my opinion, exceeded what I would see to receive in a performance contract. So as they are set to save us money, that is correct. But I also do want to make it known that I do believe that they've far exceeded the expectations of doing a performance contract.
Thank you, sir. Any other comments? Just one last comment for me. Just to kind of clarify the difference between savings, energy savings. Performance contracting, yes, there is energy savings measures as well as facility improvement measures in our master contract. And we went through this when the whole thing came to us back several years ago, that sometimes we're not gonna be able to do the energy savings measures because that takes time and additional funding, because you have to install and measure the energy use before, you have to do the improvements, and you have to do install the same measurement tools to measure afterwards. Most of these we opted as a board in public forum, voted not to use the energy saving measures, instead to use the facility improvement measures, which something like this would fall under the FIM, the facility improvement measure. That's just a clarification. So you just to kind of answer your question, Cheryl. But if no other comment, one other comment, Member Davidson.
And then again, when we voted for, I understand for performance contract, I remember in the beginning that we were supposed to have reports stating of the savings. And I understand under emergency and different things at MSI, but they are not the only contractors in town. And I think if it goes up for bid and they win the bid, that's who we'll be with. I'm not saying anything bad about MSI. They employ union employees. I like that. AMP has union employees. I like that because that money stays right here in town. But I want the best for our taxpayers and for us to save money and do the best job there is. That's why I want it to go out for bid. And that's what every single last one of us should be thinking about.
Thank you, Member Davidson. Anybody else? Member Pugh?
I have to agree with Mr. Bondi and also Sam and Pam Davison. I think that, I mean, they pretty much said it. We have other contractors, nothing against MSI or anything. I mean, they're doing great job for us, but I just feel like we need to have other people see, give them the opportunity. That's it.
All right. Jay Frederick.
Yes, I was there the night we talked about this at the committee, and I was one of the ones who agreed to stay with the master contract and keep things as is. I was also here the last board meeting when the public spoke on what they wanted and what was best for the actual public, and I will be one of the ones changing my answer tonight. I do think it's nothing against MSI at all. They've been nothing but great to us, but I do think this should go back out for bid.
Okay. Healthy debate. Any other comments? Call the roll.
I'll ask the clerk to call the roll then.
All righty, excuse me, Pugh.
No.
Kramer.
Yes.
Nache.
No.
Jay Frederick.
No.
Davidson.
No.
Hawkinson.
Yes.
Boone.
No.
Weiss.
Yes.
Bondi.
No.
Cohen.
No.
Olinger.
No.
And B. Frederick.
No.
3 ayes, 9 nays, Mr. Chair. Motion fails.
That'll end my report.
All right. Any questions for Bob on his report? All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
I'll move on to the item 32, which is the committee on the Health and Human Services presentation of the monthly report and subsequent action item.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. A monthly report is in the packet. Nursing home, I'd just like to note that as of last Wednesday, they had 114 residents. Expenses were over revenue. That was kind of a billing issue. Blue Cross Blue Shield was a little late getting our payment, so it didn't get deposited last month. So that was kind of one of the big issues. And then there was another change in Medicare rates or Medicaid rates that played into that as well. So that's all we have out the nursing home. Move on to item 33, and I'll make this in a form of a motion to approve case ZA-01-25. It's a request for the zoning district change from B2 highway business to the R residential zoning district under section 5.4 of the Knox County zoning resolution. This was filed by the applicant, the village of Altona. It was also filed by the village president, Derek Appel. Do I have a second? Second. Okay. Like Mr. Appel said during public comment, this is just, their park is in two different sections. And by moving this to the residential, it changes the setback so they can build their thing that they want to, their overhang that they want to build. So does anybody have any questions or comments? Yes, Pam.
I'm voting yes because you truly need that, and especially pickleball is the item of the year. So, yes.
All right, seeing none, clerk, call the roll.
All righty, Pugh,
Yes.
Kramer,
Yes.
Nachi,
Yes.
Jay Frederick,
Yes.
Davidson,
Yes.
Hawkinson,
Yes.
Boone,
Yes.
Weiss,
Yes.
Bondy. Yes. Cohen,
Yes.
Olinger,
Yes.
and B Frederick.
Yes.
12 ayes, no nays, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Unless anybody has any other comments? No problem, Mr. Appel.
As long as I can see the mayor out there playing that pickle.
Not in shorts.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right, moving on to the reports for the designated external board assignments are in your packet if they submitted a minutes report. Moving on to item 34, approve the opening. I'll take a motion to approve opening the budget for line item changes. Motion and a second.
Gotcha.
I'm trying to get it here. All right, call roll, please.
Pugh,
Yes.
Kramer,
Yes.
Nachi,
Yes.
Jay Frederick,
Yes.
Davidson,
Yes.
Hawkinson,
Yes.
Boone,
Yes.
Weiss,
Yes.
Bondy, Cohen,
Yes.
Olinger,
Yes.
and B Frederick.
Yes.
12 ayes, Mr. Chair.
All right, motion passes. The proposed line item changes are in your packet. I'm trying to get to it. Come on. Too many windows open. Now I got it. Not very many. Those are in your packet. Are there any questions on those proposed budget changes in your packet? Call roll, please. I'm sorry, I'll take a motion. That gets me every single time.
I know, it's
I'll take a motion to approve the proposed line item changes.
So move.
Second.
Motion and a second. You got it?
Got it.
Please call the roll.
All righty. Pugh,
Yes.
Kramer,
Yes.
Nachi,
Yes.
Jay Frederick,
Yes.
Davidson,
Yes.
Hawkinson,
Yes.
Boone,
Yes.
Weiss,
Yes.
Bondy, yes, Cohen,
Yes.
Olinger,
Yes.
and B Frederick.
Yes.
13 ayes, Mr. Chair.
All right, motion passes. I will take a review of the manual checks issued for the current cycle, item number 37. I don't have any special notes on that one.
just to be aware, that the election coming up on the 1st, we will need to have authorization for the election judges to be paid. That is under that blanket contract. But we'll pay them as quickly as we can because we want them to be happy.
I agree. All right. Item number 38, I'll take a motion to approve the claims by members for per diem and the mileage for the committee meetings of March 2025, board meetings in January, and other claims for per diem from meetings in the amount of $3,274.60. Take a motion. Kramer, is there a second?
Second.
Bondi, beat you to it. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
All righty, Pugh,
Yes.
Kramer.
Yes.
Nachi,
Yes.
Jay Frederick,
Yes.
Davidson,
Yes.
Hawkinson,
Yes.
Boone,
Yes.
Weiss,
Yes.
Bondi. Yes. Cohen,
Yes.
Olinger,
Yes.
and B Frederick.
Yes.
12 ayes, Mr. Chair.
I will take a motion to approve the claims against Knox County, Illinois for the period of February 27, 2025 through March 26, 2025, ordering that invoices be accepted and approved and that the county clerk and county treasurer be authorized and directed to issue county warrants and payment of the bills in the aggregate amount approved by the county board, $2,747,556.94.
So moved.
Second.
Motion in a second.
Gotcha.
Treasurer Davis? Plus 51. Just making sure 51,000. Oh, 5706. Okay, gotcha. Oops. 56.4 plus 51. Oh, 7. So the new amount is $2,798,614. Even. Even. All right. Because the treasurer's office likes even numbers. Yep.
Member Weiss?
Yep.
I amend my motion.
Okay, perfect. We're good.
All right, motion. Any discussion on that? That does include the bill that Vice Chair Frederick mentioned earlier for the last minute item for the postage. All right. See, I still got to mention it for you. All right, call roll.
All righty, Pugh,
Yes.
Kramer,
Yes.
Nachi,
Yes.
Jay Frederick,
Yes.
Davidson, Hawkinson,
Yes.
Boone,
Yes.
Weiss,
Yes.
Bondi,
Yes.
Cohen,
Yes.
Olinger,
Yes.
and B Frederick.
Yes.
12 ayes, Mr. Chair.
All right. The next regular meeting will be held Wednesday, April 23rd, 2025 at 6 p.m. right here at City Hall, Galesburg City Hall Council Chambers. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Take your pick. Got a motion? Is there a second?
I got it.
Second
I
by
got it.
Cohen. All right. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, say nay. We are adjourned at 8:26.